The Georgia heat clung to Malik Turner like a second skin as he drove his mother's 1998 maroon Nissan Altima through Atlanta's quiet suburbs. The air conditioning had given out years ago, so he rolled down the windows, letting the humid night air swirl around him. It was just past 9:00 p.m. on a Thursday in September 2025, and the 17-year-old had finished his shift at Publix, where he stocked shelves and bagged groceries for 8 hours straight. His arms ached from lifting crates of bottled water, and the faint scent of deli meat, salami and provolone lingered on his green work shirt. The car's radio played nothing but static, so he hummed an old Outcast song under his breath, tapping his fingers against the steering wheel. The route home was so familiar he could drive it half asleep. Left on Peachtree right at the Shell station, straight past the boarded-up laundromat. His mind was elsewhere, on the chemistry test looming next week, the college essays he kept putting off, and the dream of attending Morehouse College where his father had gone before the accident. Malik's life was simple: school, work, home, repeat. Trouble wasn't his thing. He avoided it like potholes on these crumbling streets. But that night, trouble found him. Red and blue lights erupted in his rearview mirror, sudden and blinding. His stomach dropped like a stone. He'd seen those lights before, not for him but for others in his neighborhood, men who looked like him. His cousin Jamal had been pulled over last summer for a broken taillight that worked just fine. His best friend Corey got stopped walking home from the gym. His duffel bag searched for suspicious items. Malik's hands tightened on the wheel. Breathe, he told himself. You didn't do anything wrong. He flicked on his blinker, eased the Altima onto the shoulder, and turned off the engine. His mother's voice played in his head like a mantra. Stay calm, hands visible, don't reach unless they say. Record everything, don't play hero. He placed his palms at 10 and 2, just as she'd drilled into him, and rolled down the window. The officer's footsteps crunched on gravel, slow and deliberate. A stocky man with a buzz cut approached, his mirrored sunglasses glinting under the streetlights despite the dark. His nameplate read, Officer J. Caldwell, and his uniform was starched, stiff, the badge polished to a shine. He didn't smile. License and registration, he said, his tone flat as asphalt. Malik nodded, keeping his voice steady. Yes, sir. He moved like his limbs were weighted, grabbing his wallet from the passenger seat and handing over his license. I'm getting the registration now, sir, he announced, leaning toward the glove box. Caldwell watched him like a predator sizing a prey. The registration was buried under old napkins and a tire pressure manual. Malik's fingers fumbled and a receipt fluttered to the floor. Hurry it up, Caldwell snapped. Malik handed over the papers, then pulled out his phone, tapped to record and propped it on the dashboard, the camera angled at the officer. Caldwell's jaw twitched. What's the phone for? He asked, his voice sharp enough to cut glass. For our safety, sir, Malik replied, meeting those mirrored eyes. For a long moment, the officer said nothing. Then he turned and walked back, to his cruiser, the radio on his belt crackling with static. Malik's pulse hammered in his throat. He glanced at the phone, still recording, then at the rearview mirror. A second squad car pulled up, its lights painting the night in strobes. A taller officer, Officer T. Ramsey, stepped out and stood by the passenger door, his hand resting on his holster. 2 officers now. Malik's breath came shallow. This isn't normal, he thought. Not for a traffic stop. Caldwell returned, his boots kicking up dust. You match the description of a robbery suspect from earlier tonight, he said. Black male, dark hoodie, gray sedan, step out of the vehicle. Malik's mind spun. A robbery? His green Publix shirt was bright under the streetlight, his navy hoodie crumpled in the back seat. The Altima was maroon, not gray. Nothing added up. What description, sir? He asked, voice firm but respectful. Can you clarify? Am I being detained? Caldwell's eyes narrowed. Get out, now. Malik didn't argue. He raised his hands, palms out, fingers spread, and stepped onto the shoulder. The gravel bit into his sneakers. Ramsey patted him down, quick and rough, his hands jabbing into Malik's pockets, yanking his waistband. The camera caught it all. Malik's calm compliance, the officer's tense movements, the way Ramsey's fingers lingered near his belt loop like he hoped to find something. They searched the Altima next, dumping his backpack onto the passenger seat, flipping through his chemistry notebook, peering under the seats. Caldwell popped the trunk, rifling through the spare tire and a grocery bag of old basketball jerseys. They found nothing, no weapons, no drugs, just a Publix receipt and a half-empty Gatorade. After 25 minutes, Caldwell stepped back. "You're free to go," he muttered, already turning away. Malik couldn't stop himself. "No apology?" he asked quietly. The officers didn't respond. Their cars peeled away, lights fading into the night, like it had never happened. Malik slid back into the Altima, his hands shaking so badly he had to clutch the wheel to steady them. The phone's battery was almost dead, but the video was saved. He drove home in silence, the weight of the encounter pressing down on his chest. At his family's modest brick house, he sat in the driveway for 10 minutes, staring at the dashboard, replaying every second. The anger came in waves, hot, then cold, then numb. Inside, his mom, Tanya Turner, was still awake, watching a crime drama in her nurse's scrubs. One look at Malik's face, and she knew. "What happened, baby?" she asked, her voice tight. Malik recounted everything, his words low and measured. He showed her the video. Tanya's eyes filled with tears, but her jaw was firm. "You did right," she said, pulling him into a hug. "You stayed calm, you recorded it, I'm so proud." Malik shook his head against her shoulder. "I don't feel proud, Ma. I feel wrong." That night, sleep wouldn't come. Malik lay in bed, replaying the stop, the lights, Caldwell's cold stare, the way they'd treated him like a criminal. At 2 a.m., he made a choice. He uploaded the video to social media, trimming it to show the key moments. Caldwell's vague description, the mismatched details, the pointless search. His caption was simple: "This is what matching the profile looks like." By morning, the video had exploded, 250,000 views, thousands of shares. Comments poured in, some calling him brave, others saying he was playing the race card. His little sister, Aisha, barged into his room, her eyes wide. "Malik, you're trending," he groaned into his pillow. The next week was chaos. At school, kids he didn't know stopped him in the halls. His chemistry teacher, Ms. Evans, a no-nonsense woman with silver braids, pulled him aside after class. "I saw your video," she said, her voice softer than usual. "You've got something to say, Malik. Don't let it go to waste." The Atlanta Equity Alliance, a local civil rights group, reached out next. Their organizer, Nia Thompson, called Tanya, her voice crackling with energy through the phone. "Malik's story isn't just his," she said. "It's every black kid who's been stopped for no reason. Will he speak at our community forum?" Malik hesitated. Public speaking terrified him. But his mom squeezed his hand. "You don't have to be perfect," she said. "Just tell your truth." Meanwhile, a reporter from the Atlanta Voice, Denise Carter, dug deeper. She filed a records request for the officer's body cam footage. The tapes revealed Caldwell muttering, "This one's good enough," with no mention of Malik's green shirt or maroon car. Her article went viral, fueling protests outside the Atlanta PD headquarters. Signs read, "Justice for Malik and End Profiling." The police department issued a hollow apology, placing the officers on leave. Malik read it and felt nothing. The community forum was held at the Shirley Chisholm Center, a packed room of 400 people. Malik's knees wobbled as he approached the podium. "I was just driving home from work," he began, his voice gaining strength. "They searched me like I was guilty from the start, but this isn't just about me. It's about every person judged for how they look." The crowd erupted. Nia hugged him afterward. "You did it," she whispered. Malik shook his head. "It's not enough." It wasn't, but it was a start. Malik and Nia launched Know Your Rights ATL, teaching teens how to handle police encounters. By summer, they'd trained 600 kids. Malik got into Morehouse, his essay about that night sealing his acceptance. Years later, as a sophomore studying criminal justice, he'd reflect on those flashing lights, the fear, the fury, the unexpected purpose they gave him. He hadn't planned to be an activist, but when the system tried to define him, he redefined it instead.